All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Off Camber TV's coverage of race number 3 for the Southern Super Series Pro Late Model season here at the Eldora Speedway in virtual Rosburg, Ohio. We're going to be live here for a feature race, and momentarily we're just wrapping up qualifying. We got Bradley Hindman going out for a qualifying run, but qualifying has wrapped up, getting ready to roll into the B mains here in just a few short moments. And joining me tonight in the booth is going to be Dylan Ackard. How you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing good, Wes. Eldora is a great place to be at. Eldora is so much fun to watch. We can get multiple lanes going at a time. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how these pro late models are going to handle the track. We got a lot of entries tonight. A lot of drivers are going to be sent home, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the track develops.
Yeah, it sure is. I mean, one of the biggest fields that Southern Super Series has ever seen. We got 40 cars ready to see how they can finish here with some of the best on the iRacing service. Like I said, 100 laps coming up later on tonight, but we are going to go to B-Main Racing in just a few short moments. Got to thank the major sponsor for the Southern Super Series here, CMF Motors Electriques, or Electric Motors for us, or you guys watching in the USA. A couple of new sponsors came on board as well. We're going to get to those later in the broadcast. I believe that is, who was it? Let me go back over here to my notes. Olson Fab and HMS Hamel Motorsports, two new sponsors coming on board with the Southern Super Series. So thanks to those guys for coming out as well. So we're about ready. We're trying to figure out when we're going to go green for this B main. It does look like drivers are going to start lining up at the end of pit lane. Going to go out, of course, with this format with the mains. The ticker will be off. We're going to try and get you as much information as we possibly can for the guys who are getting ready to go out here and try their best to make this show. Does look like maybe the 6 is going to be the pace car. I don't know. He's bumping into cars up there in front. The top 20 did lock themselves in. 20th quick out there is the 107 of David Carwell. He normally has the 07 with us here in the Southern Super Series. Austin Mills looks like he's going to be starting on the front row with Brandon Bolton in that 124. He's to his inside right now. Not too sure what's happening here. All right. Well, it looks like we're having a little bit of technical issues there with the iRacing service. So we're going to get that fixed and get right back to you. Don't worry, none of the racing action has happened yet, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, not exactly sure what's going on. iRacing's been having a lot of issues here lately with their servers. So I believe our producer has fallen victim to that. They are rolling out here, though, for the pace. So producer's going to hop back in real quick.
Yeah, since the update a few weeks ago when they changed the BOP on the GT3s, they made a note. They changed server logs and how the servers are being coded, and they definitely have changed something, and it did not work on the good hand. Wes did not pay the bill on the booth again, and we dropped connection off our Verizon mobile hotspot. So.
Yeah, the toaster oven that I have as a modem. Yeah, we're going to get back in here. Yes, we apologize about the little technical issue. Hopefully it doesn't happen again tonight. If it does, then, we're in some hot water here in the booth. So please, iRacing gods, work for us here.
Please, we do not like the iRacing purge. All the endurance drivers know when I say the purge when it comes to these races. So please do not let us be one of them.
Did see a couple of other guys have a little bit of throughput issue as well when Dylan actually had to hop out of the server. So hopefully those drivers can get back in here as they got them lined up. On the front stretch, I'm going to do a little MRN, I guess, for right now. Got them lined up on the front stretch, waiting till we can get back to live picture here. This is a great way to start out a night, I can tell you that.
Yeah, you gotta love when iRacing goes around, you know. We have some of the best equipment out that West can afford for us. Sometimes it works great, sometimes it doesn't, but it does look like we are back live according to our cameraman down in the booth down there, and he's giving me a big thumbs up, so let's see if we actually got the picture back.
Yeah, there we go. It looks to be about right now. The Motorola Razr flip phones are not working for us here tonight, so.
I thought it was the Sprint what was the phone Sprint had back in the day? The talk phone, the push button phone, the walkie-talkie.
I think you're talking about Boost Mobile.
Oh, was that Boost? I thought that was Sprint.
All right, well, they're rolling around the track. The number 6, Jeffrey May, is going to be our pace car here. The 1 of Austin Mills is going to start on the inside of row number 1, the 124. Brandon Bolton to his outside in the second. 38 of Daniel Shepard going to roll off in third. Kevin Forcier in the 967 in fourth. Fifth is the 157 of Scott Barnes. The 44 of Leo Pena is in sixth. Devin Rooks, the 13, is seventh. Eighth, the 601 of Daniel Potts. Ninth, the 55 of John Rooks. And the 243 of Ray Pinson going to roll in 10th. 11th goes to the 39 of John Kreider. Jason Hooker in the 28 going to roll off in 12th. 13th, Scott Grabinski in the 00. James Norboyle in the 40 going to roll off in 14th. 15th to the 31 of Ronald Crosswhite. James Shirley in the 51 in 16th. 17th, Michael Charette. I hope I'm saying that right, bud. In 17th. 18th, Bradley Hindman in the 727. The 25 of Stephen Brady in 39th. And the 27 of Chris Wolford going to round out our 20-car B main field. Not going to have a lot of laps on the board here. Pace car looking to come off of the racing surface. Here we go. Green flag is out here at Eldora for the B mains as Austin Mills gets down and away. All clear around him. Looks like the 967 of Forcier up to third now, around to 38, as we got a lot of checking up heading into turn number 3, as Austin Mills is going to lead the first lap.
Looking a little bit farther down in the back of the pack, we got 3 wide action going from about, I believe that's from 5th on back, is at least side by side and 3 wide. As that was the number, I'm trying to find that card number, I think that was the 967 of Kevin Forrest, as he's going around and is having a hard time trying to get that late model to hook up the way he likes it.
Yeah, you got back here with 601, or the 601 of Daniel Potts, with the 44 of Pena on the outside. As the 243 of Ray Pinson, he's charging on the high side behind that 44. They were 3 wide there for just a split second, as we got more 3 wide actually coming off of turn number 2 early on in this B main. 38, 44, 157 coming off of 4. Back behind him, Potts is loose, but they make it off turn number 4. Still 3 wide. We got 4 wide going into 1.
Drivers know that they got it advanced to get into the main show, so they are definitely pushing as hard as they can. But I don't know. This is the leaders right now are just pulling away from the field.
Yeah, Mills in that number 1 still has the advantage over Brandon Bolton in that 124. Then you get back to the 13 of Devin Rooks, and then you have the battle for 4th between these 4 cars. The 967's around. Looks like Ray Pinson was involved in that as well.
The parking lot.
Huge, huge incident still happening on back here in the back of the pack. And 39 of John Kreider got turned around as well after the incident did happen. So caution out on the racetrack. We got Austin Mills still out in front, but huge, huge incident there on the front stretch.
That was a lot of cars just all in one situation that just had nowhere to go, just fighting to keep the cars going, and then just all had to check up.
There's really nothing you can do. little low visibility out of the front of these pro late models. And once you're tucked up behind somebody, if you can't tell that they're checking up before you start checking up, then it's just going to be a lot of pinball action going on.
As we are stopping on the back straightaway, do not know if that was trying to get timing and scoring to come back correctly, but we were stopping.
So Austin Mills leading the charge here. Brandon Bolton second, the 13 of Devin Rooks in third. Then you go back to Daniel Shepard in the 38. He's running in fourth. And the 44 of Leo Pena running in the top five. Ray Pinson, the 243 in sixth. Seventh is Daniel Potts. Eighth, Scott Barnes. Ninth, it looks to be a toss-up between Chris Wolford and Scott Grabinski. Ray Pinson going to go to the back of the longest line here. I believe he is going to be given the EOL for that incident. To be getting set to go back to green flag racing next time by. And I mean, for as many cars they had out here for the main, I'm amazed we didn't see a lot more of, beating and banging than what we saw there. But still a lot of hard racing early on. You got to get in where you fit in, get as many positions as you can possibly get. This restart is going to be very important for those drivers trying to make the tail end of the feature race here in after B main. And here we go, the one down and away, green flag, back out on the racing surface here at Eldora. Mills gets a good jump over that 124. Everybody single file back between first and sixth right now. As we're looking at it, it does look like that 13 starting to work that high side. You can see where the bottom of the bottom groove is starting to wear out. As Potts, now he's trying to get underneath that 44 of Pena. He's not going to be able to get there. He's very close coming off the turns. And pretty much everybody's single file until you get back here to, let's see, Ray Pinson trying to make his way back up through the field.
Yeah, riding on board with Daniel Potts in that 601. Only driver we kind of see taking that lower side, those last two laps. Right now, the 124. As that is Brandon Bolton, as he tries to take that low line, but hard contact in the wall, but keeps the car going. But that he's still trying to see if there's any kind of moisture down there, but doesn't look like there's going to be much down there by race time.
Yeah, battle for fourth, heating up the 38 and the 44 side by side off of turn number 4. Pena, he's trying to get that spot. The 38 of Shepard, he wants to retain it. He will, coming off of turn 2 there. As our race leader is still just pulling away. Top 3 hasn't changed. This is the closest battle for position on the racetrack. As looks like race is over. So Austin Mills gets the win there. The 124. Brandon Bolton second. 13. Devin Rooks in third. Daniel Shepard. Leo Pena. Daniel Potts. Scott Grabinski. Scott Barnes. John Kreider. And John Rooks looks to be your top 10. Bradley Heineman brings it home in 11th. Ronald Crosswhite, excuse me, that was a tongue twister for me. In 12th, 13th, Ray Pinson, 14th, Kevin Forcier. And the 123 of Michael Charette rounds out your field there.
We're looking on our chat. So you guys are saying how we are having the giant number after the laps to go. Or technically are in a timed qualifying session. So right now the laps are not displaying correctly because admins are manually counting the laps. So that 2147 number is just a made-up number that iRacing has made up to say how many laps we actually have we could do, but right now the admins are counting the laps themselves as the cars are still in the back straightaway, getting the screenshots taken so we can go around and get onto the main.
Yeah, drivers not making the feature here tonight: Chris Walford, John Kreider, John Rooks, Bradley Heineman, Ronald Crosswhite, Kevin Forcier. The admins have removed them from the server, so there's no confusion when we get to green flag racing. Just to mention some of the guys who qualified here, going to give you your top 10 or your adjusted top 10 at least. Randall Carter got the pole tonight with a 16.118. Jacob Fields in the 007 had a 16.119. Drew Hirschko in the 26, a 16.122. And John Fiddler, a 16.130. Then you get back to a regular for the Southern Super Series, Jeff Mays with a 16.171 in fifth. Kyle Beck, Garrett Nabergi, Chris McGuire qualified eighth. Rick LeDuc in ninth, and James Normal Jr. rounds out your top 10 in qualifying. Now, they are, as with every Thursday night, there is going to be a green flag. The drivers are not going to go on that first green flag. They're going to get everybody set into the correct position. And then we're going to go to green flag racing, inverts, and the B main winners. Because they like to run these B mains in the qualifying session, they actually set times that conflict with the actual qualifying results. So we're going to try, when they get them sorted out on that caution, we're going to get down the starting grid as fast as we possibly can. The ticker will show it after they throw that first caution.
Gonna say the ticker will not work for the first 3 laps, so those drivers fans that are watching, just know that the ticker will not work. So we are aware. It's just how unfortunately IRC does not let us kind of adjust things through the spectating section of how to view these races. So we can't really change how things go, but it looks like the servers have advanced and we are getting ready to go on the grid.
Yes, we are, and a lot of these guys here, don't believe we've seen Randall Carter out here, or Jacob Fields, or Drew Hirschko, for their first time out here with the Southern Super Series. They are some bad, fast drivers. Maybe Carter has been out here. I think actually Carter has been out here, or he's been in another series that we've commentated. Actually, a couple of these guys, more than likely. A lot of the fast guys on the dirt scene like to stay within the same leagues, and makes everything much more interesting. So it looks like our grid is about to everybody's trying to get onto the starting grid. Last minute adjustments to some of these cars on pit lane. And let's see, third place hasn't logged in either. You see admins trying to do work here, trying to get everything correct for our starting grid. Looks like we're only taking about 26 cars to this main event. 100 laps for the feature. And Dylan, we've been calling the Southern Super Series for quite a while here. We did a whole season with them last season. This is race number 3. They do not disappoint here. What do you expect out of these drivers here tonight at Eldora?
It's definitely going to be an interesting race to see who can actually get the high side to work the best. Eldora is a very high side dominant track once the groove starts coming in. But I think it's going to be more who can use the changing of the track to the benefit of somebody else can. We had a lot of drivers in the back. They're going to have a hard time kind of making their way through the field. So they're going to definitely have a harder time. But, when we're looking through some of the names who are starting in the back half of the field, is kind of quite interesting. James Noel Jr. in that 721 has right now right now we don't actually have correct timing and scoring on the overlay, but he's starting kind of a little bit farther back in the field. Garrett Nabergi in that 19, he's starting about in the first half of the field, so he might be a interesting driver to watch. But looking a little bit farther down throughout the field, Daniel Potts in that 601, he's way in the back, just qualified from that B main, so he's definitely gonna be a driver to kind of watch out for to see if he can make his way to the front of the field.
As we aforementioned here, this is not going to be the true start of the race. Everybody's got to get into line where they should be. So pace truck going to pull off here. Going to keep pace speed. And then we're going to go green flag racing in just a few short moments. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure to drop a like on the video, share it out to your friends, let them know what you're watching, who you're watching. Put your favorite driver's name and number in the chat. Let them know that that you're rooting for them, and let us know where you're watching from. We'll try to get a couple of shout outs during cautions if we have some cautions. So green flag looks to be out, and we are underway here. Jacob Fields takes the early lead in that 007. You have Randall Carter in second with that 26 of Drew Hurchko to the inside. Looking at first, second, and fourth, they are part of a team here. Pretty similar things. As there's three wide, beating and banging coming off of turn number 4. Caution's going to come out. Chris McGuire involved, goes around in at number 92, points champion from last season. Caution here early at Eldora.
Randall Carter in that number 37, huge damage. We saw in a league that we broadcasted on Tuesday how much damage these late models can get. And Randall Carter in that 37 is definitely going to have a long night ahead of him if he doesn't get that machine kind of fixed up a little bit, because there is no front and there's no wing spoiler in the back end of that car, and there's no right side fender.
Yeah, that's going to ruin his night. Going to go all the way to the back. Actually, we took 28 cars from from that B main earlier, and yeah, that 37 is completely trashed. He's going to be definitely starting from the 8 ball here, behind the 8 ball here tonight. Chris McGuire, another guy who went around on that caution, started in 9th, all the way back to the 20th position now. A lot of drivers, a lot of fast drivers mired in the back here early on. But Jacob Fields, your leader, Drew Hurchko in second, Jeffrey Mays in third, John Fiddler fourth, and Garrett Nabergi rounds out your top 5, as we should get the lights off the pace truck for the first caution of the evening. And, I mean, a ton of positions ended up exchanging hands between 7th on back to 16th. I mean, a lot of the guys who were in the back all the way up to let's just say David Cardwell right now 24th to 16th, Lee Fetchner 23rd to 15th, Hayden Cardwell 22nd to 14th. So they're moving up. That, of course, with some of the EOLs given out for the guys from the B main. I guess they were just testing something out, as we are set to go back to green flag race. And there is the green flag. We are back underway here. Jacob Fields doesn't get as good of a jump as he did during that initial start. Hurchko on the outside in that 26. He's battling for the lead on the high side. The track has definitely been worked on since our B main went, and we got 3 wide behind him with Mays, Nabergi, and Fiddler, excuse me. The 29 and the 96 are in the wall behind him. That's Kyle Beck and Ricky LeDuc.
Oh, the checkup.
Parking lot on the backstretch.
Man, that checkup is going to really affect a lot of drivers. We are 5 wide behind as we got a car spinning. I think that was the 38, I believe, in the far back. Falling way back.
Oh, there we go.
Oh my.
Dylan Rivers goes around, and that was just a massive checkup, massive cause or effect of the accordion effect. And the 23 just did not get into turn 1 like he wanted to. The 189 of Braden Casto ended up giving him the final blow to turn him around. and the field just stacks up behind him, a lot of bent up sheet metal, and we're not even we just got to lap 10 on the evening.
Yeah, it's this is right now. I'm a very the Eldora. When you look at Eldora, it's a very simple layout, but the track is so wide. You know, a lot of drivers kind of call it like a Daytona or Talladega in the NASCAR world because it is just so big, it's so wide. You can run multiple different lanes. You know, there's unlike Knoxville or some of the other tracks we kind of see in iRacing. You know, you really don't need one lane to come in to prevail another lane. You know, you kind of drive any lane you want from the get-go. And I think right now you just see it's just not a lot of drivers just better in that back half trying to push their way up to the field and just having a hard time getting stopped.
Yeah, a lot of love in the chat for the number 15, though, Stephen Bordeaux. Right now running in the 13th position after just about getting caught up in that mess in turn 1. And he's advanced his position from 18th to 13th on the field. So he's looking to have a good night. Also saw Brian Foster watching from Wilmer, Alabama. How you doing? And looks like we might be going to a single file start for now until we get these incidents back in check. Definitely going to help out the field as the top 3 right now, teammates with Hertzko, Fields, and Fiddler, ready to get back underway here. Green flag in hand at the flag stand. There he is. He's off. Hertzko gets a good jump on his teammates. Green flag back out here at Eldora. Just completed lap 12.
Oh!
And caution already in the back.
Oh my goodness. I do not know where that started, but we had a caution out for a long period of time right there. I don't even know where that even started.
Oh, Hertzko is... Oh, wow. Hertzko in the middle of everything right now as they were trying to come back around to catch up to the pace truck. Unless we're still under green flag conditions. I still have a... yeah. No clue what happened there. I was way behind.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even see. I saw the pace truck come in, but the overlay never showed the yellow flag getting removed. I don't know if we got a delayed or something happened right at the start, but definitely the top 5 have changed. We lost a teammate.
Yeah, we're trying to work on that, guys out there in the chat. It's a
I find out who that was.
What do you have, a omnidirectional microphone there for our other guy in the booth? So trying to get it worked out. So back to single file. Jacob Fields out front. Does look like Hertzko is going to be mired way back in traffic now in the 21st position. That should have been the cause of the caution there. A couple waiver rounds being given out as well. Here we go. Pace truck once again ready to go to the safety of pit lane. Jacob Fields, the 007 out front. Green flag goes back out into the air. John Fiddler, the 115, right in the 007's tire tracks is Jeffrey Mason at 6th in 3rd. They're single file till you get back here to Leverstein and Hayden Cardwell. Leverstein had a lot of front end damage to that machine. The 007, though, he just about jumped out of the groove. Here goes Fiddler for the slider. Teammate checks up behind him. That's going to give Mays an advantage here going into turn number 3. Fields all the way on the high side. Mays sliding up the racetrack. 007 keeps out the rear of that 6, but the 6 takes over that second position. Jeff Mays. And Norm Oil, where did he come from? The 721 out of nowhere underneath that 19 of Newbergy. There he goes. He gets into Fields a little bit in the middle of 3 and 4 contact. They both slow. We're 3 wide going into turn number 1.
That 07 of Jacob Fields could not get that car rotated, keeping that 19 of Garrett Newbergy up in the wall as we have another yellow.
Looking for the culprit there. It was definitely a red car. I'm looking for a red car. It's Kyle Beck, the 29. He ends up getting, he tries a slider, gets punted from the 107. The 15 does get involved in it. A little bit of damage to Bordeaux's car. 107 ended up getting into the back of Kyle Beck as Beck tried a slider and just did not have enough momentum to complete it. So caution back out here once again. Should be working our 5th caution on the night here on lap 22. So John Fiddler, now our 3rd different leader tonight, out in front, and his teammates have been they've been fighting a little adversity here. Hertzko spins by himself. Fields gets thrown into a virtual game of ping pong back there off that last restart, starting in the lead, and he's back to 4th right now. Leverstein, that 777, up from 14th to 5th on the racetrack. First time he's been in the top 5 all night. He is missing a front clip off that 777. A couple other guys who've made a good charge through the field. The 2 of Hayden Cardwell from 22nd to 7th. Ricky LeDuc, a lot of bent-up sheet metal back here in 8th. David Cardwell, he's made a good comeback to get into the top 10, as well as Dennis Potridge Jr. in that 99.
We are back green out in the air once again. John Fiddler had a good start, keeping Jeffy Mays right behind him. Jeffy Mays is, it's so interesting watching Jeffy Mays take that higher side. Kind of goes through a little bit more of a slide in the middle of the corner, but yet gets it perfectly straight and just gets that power down, getting that slingshot down. Battle for the lead.
And there they go. Mays almost all the way into that outside retaining while they're riding that little bit of a cushion that iRacing actually has on here. We did have word that an update to the cushion is coming in the next build in March. So we're definitely looking forward to that for all of our dirt racing. But Fiddler, he is the Pied Piper right now, or the Pied Fiddler, if you would, leading the charge. Top 2 are starting to break away from 3rd place in Norm World Jr. Jacob Fields tucked in right behind him as well. Then you go back here. We got Nabergi under fire from the 2 of Hayden Cardwell to the outside. Nabergi stuck down there on the bottom. Leverstein has gotten around him as well. And battle for the lead. Mays had it right there for just a split second. They're fanning out behind him. Fiddler under pressure from Mays. Mays gives him a little tap into 3. Let him know, hey, bud, I am back here. I'm ready to go. There goes Mays to the inside. He's going to try to slider. Doesn't have enough momentum. Going to keep it on the bottom. They're still side by side off of 2, and Fiddler retakes the lead. You can see Normal down here starting to use that same line that Mays used, as Mays going for it again. Now he's in the middle, a lot more tacky dirt in the middle of the racetrack there in 1 and 2. Fiddler making that high side look good as Mays is coming up. They're going to touch a little bit off of 4. And Mays backs off back into 2nd. Fiddler keeps that top spot as the top 4 is starting to close in tight enough to where you can throw a blanket over them.
Yeah, most definitely. Mays can get the run, and you just can't get enough power down to get that car to maybe do a slide job, but he needs to be careful how he does things. It was contact.
Yeah, Fiddler in the wall there. Mays to the inside now. He's got the preferred lane. Well, actually, Fiddler still has preferred lane as we're just about 3 wide for the race lead here on lap 35. Mays still on the inside, Fiddler on the high side. You can definitely tell where these cars want to run at. That high side is just working out perfectly for that 115. Normoil diving in into turn 3, trying to throw his hat into the ring and bringing Jacob Fields with him as well.
Yeah, I'm bored on Jacob's Field on the OCTV onboard cam, just watching this battle through. This is definitely going to be one that we'll have to watch for a long time, because I don't think we only have Pulling up 35, 65 to go. Otherwise, oh no, Jacob Fields just spins James Norwell Jr.
Yeah, Norwell around on the front stretch. Leverstein gets it to him as well, the 777. And the rest of the field is trying to avoid him as he is stopped on the top of the racetrack on the entry into turn number 1. It just looks like Norwell trying to get off. Fields was trying to run his line off the corner as well. And two cars cannot occupy the same space, so wrecked there at the front. Before then, they had at least a 2-second advantage over 5th place and beyond. So those top 4 guys, definitely the fastest guys out on the track as that happened. Let's see. Where did Fields? Fields, the 007 comes in to take a fast repair, gets his car all nice and tidy. He's going to go to the back of the longest line. As the top 5 has changed a little bit here. Hey, Fiddler, Mays, Hayden Cardwell up to 3rd, and at number 2, Jacob Leverstein. Actually, David Cardwell in 4th, Jacob Leverstein back to 5th. Ricky LeDuc scratching, trying to get into the top 5 for the first time tonight, and that number 96 as well.
Yeah, can we just say I'm very impressed with how that 777 Jacob Leverstein is driving without that fun clip and be able to keep up, hold that 5th position. It's quite interesting. Watch him.
And there we go, down and away, green flag, back out once again here at Eldora. Fiddler gets a good jump over Jeffrey Mays, Hayden Cardwell, David Cardwell, and Leverstein as Mays is into the wall there. Coming off of turn number 2, the 2's going to go to the bottom. Here comes the slide job, throws it in there, makes it stick. Here comes the crossover from Mays, but it looks like Hayden Cardwell is going to take over that 2nd position at the line. Mays trying to fight back on the inside, not going to happen. He's going to go back to the 3rd position. That number 2 up to the 2nd position. 96 of LeDuc trying to pull a slider on Leverstein, not going to happen as well. As now Mays under fire from the 107. The 115 has checked out for just for right now as Cardwell slides up in front of Mays. Mays has to back off. He goes to the inside of the 107. They touch. Coming off of turn number 4. Here comes Leverstein, LeDuc, Nabergi, and Fetchner having a good night in that 57 as well. This is the battle for that 3rd position. LeDuc on the high side back there. He's on the outside of Leverstein. Can they make it off the corner? They do. I thought LeDuc was going to go into the wall there for a second. Leverstein with the slide job on LeDuc. LeDuc with the crossover at 96. Back to the bottom off of 2. Here he goes, throwing the slider on. But he's got Mays in that middle lane. I'm glad that that's 96 decided to back off. And so is that 777 of Leverstein. There goes LeDuc once again for the slider. He gets touched, punted by the 777. He's going to lose 3 positions trying to go for that 1. Caution out on the racetrack. Oh, big junk. The 44's around. Everybody in the back is involved. And it actually happened in front of them. Looking at it, we got 4 cars almost synchronized spinning. As it looks like it started with the 192 and the 50. Then Daniel Potts got in it. Braden Casto, the 9. Jason George, Pena, the 13, the 23. The 37 of Carter involved as well, and Fields, after running in the front, he gets through it pretty clean. Incredible.
Yeah, it's we've already seen one huge giant checkup last time. There's another one, and these late models are so hard to break to try to avoid a wreck that right now we're kind of watching the 2 as he kind of warms his tires up a little bit, keeping them warm, getting ready to back go Green Flag Racing. But you just see how hard it is to try to control one of them, especially when you're trying to slow down to get into avoiding contact. It's a hard thing to do, and it's definitely going to be a lot of those drivers have a lot of damage.
Yeah, a lot of drivers towards the back of the pack with a ton of bent up sheet metal. Amazed we haven't seen a lot more of them come down to their pit box. They do have the fast repairs there, and in case you're new to iRacing, fast repairs just gives you a brand new car. kind of like Oprah did back in the 90s. But here we go. Pace truck is off once again. John Fiddler, excuse me, back onto the gas. Hayden Cardwell not caught sleeping. He's down in a way as well. Green flag back out as Fiddler and Cardwell battle it coming off of turn number 2. Naberge trying to go to the inside of the 777 of Jacob Leverstein for that 5th position. And David Cardwell up in the 3rd right now after starting so far back in the field. He's got to feel pretty good about this run as he goes into the wall. Mays underneath of him, Leverstein underneath of him. Here goes Naberge. Commentator Curse strikes again. Cardwell back 3 positions after contact with the outside retaining wall in turn number 2. And the battle for the lead is on. Cardwell to the inside of Fiddler. Cardwell resets now in that number 2. He's got a fast hot rod right now. There he goes to the inside. He's going to try to pull the slider on that 115. But the 115, too much momentum on that high side for the 2 to conquer right now. As Fiddler now taking a more defensive line. Caution comes back out once again onto the racetrack. And 601 of Daniel Potts. He just tried to make sure that he was out of everybody's way here and ends up stopping on the racetrack, trying to get it into pit lane. The leaders are coming around. Caution comes out because of it. So just over halfway now, working lap 53, completing it at the flag stand. And we're already working our, 7th or 8th caution.
We are definitely at a very high number for a track like Eldora. It's kind of interesting me how Eldora, you know, it depends on the drivers you get, but Eldora is a very clean track. But when you get so many drivers on the track, you know, right now we have 24 drivers on track right now. You know, it can get a very crazy and chaos, but I'm wondering, I'm more wondering about how the 77 of Jacob Levenstein and Daniel Cardwell's cars are. They have a lot of damage and a lot of pent up sheet metal, as well as Cardwell in that number 2. You know, his whole right rear spoiler is sticking up in the air, kind of like a dragster. So I wonder if that's causing some handling issues too, and why he can't get the slide job done.
Yeah, not 100% sure, but we're going back to double file restarts. For this particular restart, you got Fiddler, Cardwell, Mays, Leverstein, Cardwell, LeDuc, your top 3 rows. And 115 waiting on. There he goes, back onto the gas. And we got about a 4-wide battle behind him as Hayden Cardwell on the high side now. Fiddler's going to try to get up there on the slider. He does. Cardwell checks up just enough to get back by him. 3 wide behind him as well with Leverstein, Mays, and the other Cardwell. As the 2 of Hayden Cardwell goes to the point, gets around Fiddler there, leads that last lap. Fiddler with a return on the slide job. The 2 gets into him a little bit, gets a little squirrely, and now they're 3 wide for the 2nd position. A Cardwell sandwich with Mays in the middle.
Side by side 3 wide going in once again into turn number 3. Just right now, just not a lot of room to move. You know, so many, you know, trying to get that high lane to work so well, but sometimes you gotta try that bottom, and that bottom you just see it's not getting the run that everyone needs, and just having a hard time trying to get any kind of movement done. Especially with so many cars around you, it's hard to get your lane, get in your groove, get into your pattern when you can't go anywhere.
Yeah, that is true. This high lane, it's going to start losing some grip up there as well. They're starting to wear the moisture out on entry. You can definitely see when these guys enter in high how close they're getting to that outside retaining wall. But as of right now, it does look like the top 3 are pretty good right now. As Mays gets into the wall, here comes David Cardwell to the inside in that 107, the 6 to the high side. The 2 goes for the slider on the leader. Doesn't get it. And caution comes out behind him. Looking for it. It may have been, yeah, it looks like the 721. He got into the 13. It looks like what he tried to do was slam on the brakes to avoid getting into the 13 and ends up going around himself. So caution out once again as we are working lap 62 at the stripe. We're completing that lap, going to 63. That's going to be 38 laps or 37 laps to go. Time is starting to wind down here. Only 100 laps on the board. And not a lot has changed. Braden Casso, the 199, into the top 10 for the first time tonight. Leo Pena in at 44, right behind him in 11th. 9 of Jason George. The only time we mentioned him is when he was involved in a wreck earlier. He's back here in 12th. Scott Grabinski rebounding up to 14th after what seems to be a pretty hectic rear of the field. Chris McGuire, second in points coming into tonight, 92 after early problems.
We're going to go on board the 107 on the start.
Hasn't got up out of the back into the top 15. We're going to go on board with the 107 for this restart, back stacked up 2 by 2 throughout the field. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing. Like I said, we're on board with the 107 of David Cardwell, and green flag is out once again here at Eldora. You can see Mays got a good jump on that inside lane. Fields, we got 3 wide for the race lead, making 4 wide coming off of 2, excuse me. There goes Cardwell again to the high side as we're still on board with the other Cardwell in the field. Mays trying to make that bottom work. There goes the 107 around the high side. Ricky LeDuc in 5th right now. He had to back off a little bit. Here comes Leverstein to the bottom. They're 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, battling for 3rd and 5th, and caution comes out once again.
Yeah, this flagman is getting very tired holding this yellow flag. No dirt racer wants to see that yellow flag. There's a lot of just cautions here. But, you know, some driver, you know, that probably the leader right now of John Fields is probably very happy to keep seeing these cautions. His car is so well on that high side. He was one of the first ones to take that high side, and he stayed up that high side. So, you know, he's probably kind of happy. You know, more cautions we get, you know, less that high side's kind of drying out because you're not getting so much grip and grip loss in that high side. So he's probably kind of enjoying these cautions, but no fan wants to see all these yellows.
So now we're looking at restarting with just about 30 to go. I think we'll get the green flag back with 31 laps remaining on the scheduled distance of 100 laps tonight. And, you know, besides a couple of guys, that team, I'm trying to believe it's the Elite 7. They've had a driver out front for the majority of the race. You can see Fiddler hanging back here off the pace car, and Cardwell up there going to check up now and get back in line with the rest of the field. But so far, that too looks to be about the only one that can touch that 115. That's up here up front. Accordion effect once again. We're going to have a quick caution here unless everybody can keep it going straight. Green flag back out. Fiddler, as the leader, he controls the restart, so trying to play mind games with the field there, trying to keep them on their toes, and bunches the whole field back up behind him as caution does come out. And it looks to be Randall Carter again. He was slow. And it looks like the 50 of Lineweaver got turned as the 37 got turned as well. Kyle Beck involved again.
The restarts are just getting, I think the restarts are causing a lot of issues with these drivers. You know, you kind of, when you're sitting in the driver's seat of one of these cars, you know, you kind of look for the little, you know, sudden keys, you know, let's see, hearing the back ends move, you know, hearing if you're close enough to the leader, you know, hearing the motors rev up a little bit more, you know, trying to get, you know, any kind of advantage you get. And how these restarts been going, they definitely have been having a lot of accordion and checkup, just how the restart's been going, and just having a terrible restart for the drivers in the back. You know, it's very difficult for the drivers in the back to know when the leader's going, because you gotta kind of follow the leader. You know, instead of focusing on going on green when you see that green flag pop up, or you see that green flag man holding the flag, you kind of gotta go off the car in front of you, and you know, it's so hard to do because you're just at a short track. You're so little, you're so tight together. You know, whenever one person sees something, you try to see the same thing, and you're just kind of stuck. And these back half drivers are just getting really caught up in the hard and trying to just get the car going, and instead of trying to avoid the checkup just happening in the middle of the field.
Yeah, it's everybody's trying to anticipate it. A little smoother restart there as green flag goes back out into the air. Cardwell got a good jump there in the number 2. Fiddler on the outside still leading the brigade as we are 3 wide back here for 5th with the 57 in the middle as they enter into turn number 3. Still 3 wide going through the remainder of the turn, and we got 4 wide behind him as well. Some more 3 wide action happening as the 99, he's starting to make his way through the top 10 as well. Potters Jr. back here. Battle for 3rd is going on with Mays and David Cardwell in the 107. And still Ricky LeDuc on the bottom back here in the 96. Lee Fetchner in the 57 on the high side. He's definitely got a handful. You can see how hard he is working that wheel, trying to keep it on the high side, keep it revved up and going. 4 wide back behind him. Potters, Pena,
and caution.
Casto. Caution comes out. I believe Nabergi was in that 4 wide as well, but the caution happens back behind us again. We're trying to see what happened there. Oh, the 26 of Drew Hertzko gets spun around there. Oh, I went too far back. Going back to see what exactly happened to him, and looks like Grabinski was going in on the inside there. That's a 0-0, and pit maneuver successful. And the 26 gets turned around for the 2nd time tonight. And going back to the restarts, I mean, everybody is anticipating when the leader is going to go. You got a 50-50 shot. If you go, you know, if you go ahead and get on the gas, you got a 50-50 shot of being correct or being wrong as the leader, trying to guess where the leader is going to go. And we're gonna go on board with Garrett Nabergi, the 19 car, on this restart. He's back here in 11th. We're going to show you what it's like for a driver mid-pack on these restarts. And try to get you a sensation of what's going on, as it looks like we're starting to stack them up once again here tonight. Like I said, the 19 of Nabergi, that's who we are on board with. Restarting in the 11th position, 5 rows deep in the field. And Fields checks him up again. A green flag out onto the raceway. Everybody else was anticipating the 115 going a little bit earlier than what he actually did. Cardwell trying to push through. Splits the difference there between the 107 and the 115. He goes out to the point now. 20 laps to go, coming to 19 laps remaining, and Cardwell's got the lead. Throws the block on the slide line as we're almost wrecking back here behind him as well. So Cardwell in front.
There they go.
There it goes. Caution once again. Gonna try and look. Oh yeah. Yeah, it looks like the 44 and the 99. 99 got the worst of it there. Pyrus Jr. putting together a good run. And 4 wide coming off of turn number 2 does not work for a lot of people. And he ends up getting turned around by the 9 car. That's who gets to finish him off there as Potridge goes to the back of the longest line for this next restart. Everybody has to go off of the leader. That's going to be the lesson of tonight. Can't go until the leader goes. iRacing will throw a black flag every time if you beat that leader to the line on that outside. So just been a tough night for a lot of drivers out here.
Now, right now, the leader of Henridge Cardwell, and that number 2 is the leader. But you know, one thing that we have been doing is iRacing doesn't save the mud replay, mud effects on when you do replays. So we haven't been showing them. But look at the mud that's on that number 2 car compared to that 115. He has so much extra weight on that car that he might be able to get a better start and get going. As green flag's back out once again. Good start for him.
Yeah, 15 laps remain now. He's got a good jump over that 115 of Fiddler. Mays still in third. Leverstein and LeDuc, your top 5 as they go back into turn number 3. David Cardwell in the meantime, he's trying to go inside of that 96. Not going to be able to get there. That's the battle for 5th as LeDuc did get a little piece of the wall in the middle of 1 and 2. Starting to fan out now. Cardwell's got a good advantage. Last thing that he wants to see is yet another yellow flag out here tonight. And it does look like everybody's pretty much playing nice. Not a lot of side-by-side battling with this single-file restart as McGuire gets into the back of Casto just a little bit. Now, Jacob Fields threw a slider on Casto. Casto took the inside on the front stretch. Got back around him as Leverstein's slow now on the top of the racetrack. He lost a ton of time to a lot of drivers there, all the way back from 4th to at 6th, 7th position as he's trying to fight Newberge. Here goes LeDuc and Cardwell. Cardwell throws a successful slider on the 96. As McGuire is back here, he's all over the back bumper of Braden Casto in that 199. Trying to get around him. He's starting to come alive now, that 92, as he throws a slider on the 007. They're both into the wall, coming off of turn number 2 to 15, gives a shot to the back of the 007. Still under the green flag with less than 10 laps to go.
As Garrett Newberge goes around and tries to do a slide job for that 6th position. Oh no, another caution, back out once again.
57 of Fetchner goes around after contact with the 19 of Newberge. Last thing that 2 wanted to see, he's going to have to get another perfect restart on the field as they're checking up now on the backstretch. Don't have to do a replay because we don't, that one was live. So just a little bit of a shakeup here in the top 5. And this should be the final restart of the night coming up here. We're going to have about 4 or 5 laps to go when we take the green flag next time for the restart. The McGuire, he's trying to get up here and get into the 10th position. It does look like iRacing is going to score him in 10th, just ahead of Jacob Fields in the 007. And Casto, the 199, solidly in 9th. James Norwell Jr. trying to make a rebound as well. He's back here in the 721 in the 15th position. Looking for a couple other guys who've had some terrible luck here tonight. The 99 of Potridge, only able to make up 2 positions on track since getting sent to the back of the longest line earlier when he was involved in an incident. I mean, a lot of twisted sheet metal, a lot of people missing a lot of parts on these cars as well. Okay. So it looks like we have had a driver get evicted here. So we'll be back right with that in a moment. Lights still on the pace truck It does look like the 115 of John Fiddler has been removed from the server. I'm not sure what exactly happened there, but nonetheless, he's gone now.
As
All right, green flag.
Back out. Back out in the air. Cardwell go around and get the final restart, because if we get another yellow flag, we will not go back green flag racing. We do not have green white checkers yet in the service, so we will call it by the next flag if it is that checkered or if it's a yellow. But
yeah,
battle for third.
LeDuc and Cardwell now battling for that third position. The 107 throws a slider on that number 96. 96 crosses him back over. Ricky LeDuc trying to get a podium finish here tonight. As we got 2 laps to go for the 2 of Hayden Cardwell. Good advantage over that number 6 of Jeffrey Mays. As LeDuc and Cardwell still battling for that third position. Jacob Leverstein back here in 5th. He's waiting for one of these two to make a mistake. White flag is out for Hayden Cardwell. All he has to do is make it through 2 more corners once he exits turn number 2. And it does look like nobody is going to be able to get there to him. Coming off of 4, the number 2 of Hayden Cardwell wins here at Eldora, race number 3 for the Southern Super Series. Jeffrey Mays, fighting all night long, gets a second place finish. And David Cardwell rounds out your top 3. Ricky LeDuc brings it home in 4th. Jacob Leverstein 5th. Garrett Naburgi 6th. Lee Fetchner 7th. Chris McGuire in 8th. Braden Casto 9th. And Brandon Bolton rounds out your top 10. Jacob Fields finishes 11th. Leo Pena in 12th. James Normal Jr. 13th. Stephen Bordeaux in 14th. 15th goes to Jason George. Dylan Rivers in 16th. Jason Lineweaver 17th. Dennis Potridge Jr. 18th. 19th. Randall Carter. And Devin Rooks rounds out your top 20. You got Kyle Beck in 21st. Last car on the lead lap. John Fiddler 22nd. Drew Hertzko in 23rd. Scott Grabinski 24th. Daniel Potts in 25th. Austin Mills 26th. 27th. Scott Barnes and Daniel Shepard rounds out our 28 car field here tonight. And we're going to be looking for drivers to get into the team speak to get an interview here. If we don't see them in the next 2 minutes, we're going to go ahead and close up shop and roll with the punches here. So, Dylan, it was a pretty interesting race.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. You know, kind of keeping an eye on chat, making sure it doesn't get too frustrating there. We see a lot of the fans up in the stands are throwing water bottles at the race administration. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know how. You know, it's just, you know, looking at the race itself, it was it was kind of really I don't want to say disappointing, but it kind of it sucks when you can't get, you know, a lot of green flag racing done at a track like Eldora. You know, Eldora is just a fun track when you get side by side. You know, you can do 3 wide all the time. You know, and it's hard, but I actually kind of feel really bad for the drivers in the back half of this field, the ones that really couldn't get moving a lot more, you know, because they just kept getting checked up or getting slammed and crashed because there was just nowhere to go. You know, the leader kept checking up just a little bit, and it's just not a lot of places for the drivers in the back half can go, and that's where we saw most of the cautions. You know, it's just the back half just couldn't get going, couldn't do anything to get the cars rolling to try to get going long enough. And you know, I think it's a sad night to see a night like this come out with so many cautions at a great facility like Eldora. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what comes around next week.
Yeah, next week going to the Knoxville Raceway. Going to be an interesting night indeed. Trying to see if I can't get these guys a message out here, but it doesn't look like they allow people to comment on their things. So another minute or two, and it's just the product of a lot of fast guys and a ton of a lot of people being impatient. Of course, the leader gets to start the race and all of that good stuff. So, tough night tonight. Hopefully, we bounce back at Knoxville next week. And I do have one guy who's making his way to the booth right now to get a interview. That's the second place guy. At least I believe. I'm going to give him another minute to get in here. So, and it looks like there he is, the number 6 of Jeff Mays. How you doing tonight, bud?
Good. How about yourself?
Hey, doing pretty good. Seemed like a very difficult race out there tonight.
It was intense. It was real slick. It was a one groove track, a lot of cautions. My car wasn't really good on the short run. Once I got going, it come in, and it was a good race for the lead all night long.
Yeah, it definitely was. That was pretty much the main focus there when you were able to string together a couple of green flag laps to battle for those top spots. It was definitely entertaining. But not as entertaining as the back half of the field, and unfortunately a lot of stuff happened back there as well. But, not a lot of green flag running tonight. The track didn't really get to come in like we normally see an Eldora late model race. You think that played a factor into how you finished here tonight?
Yeah, I should have tightened my car up a little more than I had it. I wasn't expecting it to really get as slick as it did.
All right. Well, got to say, congratulations to you and that 6 team on that second place finish. Good points night for you, as well as a lot of the front runners ran into a lot of problems towards the beginning of the race and in the middle of the race, and you stuck it out. You're going to have a good advantage on those guys heading into next week in Knoxville.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Knoxville's one of my favorite tracks, and I tend to have pretty good luck at Knoxville, so we'll see what I can do there next week.
All right. Anything you shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, all the Team Elite members, David for putting it on, James Shirley, all the people sponsoring the league, and you guys for putting this on.
All right, 10-4, Bud. Well, that was second place, the 6 of Jeff Mays. And if he wants to, nobody else has came in. I tried to go to their page and post team speak in there, and nobody's letting us do that. So I guess we're just gonna have to go ahead and wrap this show up. We're gonna go ahead and give thanks to our sponsors here. First up, we got McGuire Photography.
Yep.
Modern Images. Elite Motorsports. Caldwell Brothers Racing. Chicken Head Consulting. Olson Fab Metal Fabrication. And Hamill Motorsports. I'd like to thank them for all that they do for the Southern Super Series. And, of course, CMF for being the premier sponsor. Thanks for all that they do. And trying to get it in there, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So, for Dylan Ackert and myself and Off Camera TV, we are out of here. Thanks for watching.